Hola chiquillos, ¿cómo están? Espero que estén bien. Vamos a empezar con los próximos apuntes de este capítulo, los que son el presente perfecto. Vamos a hablar acerca de ese concepto, que es algo que ya hemos visto, bueno, no lo hemos estudiado explícitamente, pero es algo que ya hemos visto este año en clase. Y hablo en inglés. I will talk in English. So we're going to take a look at, right now is the present perfect. It is something that we have not explicitly seen in class yet, but it is something that we have seen here or there. And so when you see this, you'll say, "Senior guys, we've already been here, done this. What the heck?" A little bit of review, but I did want to formally address the present perfect. So there we go. So presente perfecto, of course, is the present perfect, and it is used to talk about any event that happened in the past. Although it's called the present perfect, the idea of perfect gives the idea of a compound tense, but in this case it's not necessarily talking about what's happening like now, but rather what has happened. It's basically equivalent to the English I have eaten, you have written, he has slept, we have run, whatever it is, where it's a construction of some subject, has or have, and then a past participle. Now, it doesn't point to a specific time in the past. So, like, for example, it makes no sense to say, I have eaten a cookie yesterday. You understand the idea, but you would probably, if you're going to, specify it, you would put it in the past tense, normal past tense in English, or the preterite in Spanish. So, for example, I ate a cookie yesterday, or yo comí una galleta ayer. But in this case, it's just the idea of, even if we're not specifically pointing to when this happened, it is something that happened in the past and has already come and gone. Again, it's the equivalent of, I have done something, generally talking about something that has happened already in the past. So, the way that looks like in Spanish is, again, something that should ring a bell, should be familiar with you, or familiar to you, as we look at it right now. So, you'll have two verbs, some form of haber, and a participio pasado, a past participle, which we've already done to death. We should be good with that. And this is the first of 7 different compound tenses. So in Spanish there are 14 tenses. Well, I guess really 16, but 14 that we use. And there are all these normal, simple tenses. Like, for example, the present tense, the preterite tense, the imperfect tense, the future tense, the conditional tense, present, preterite, imperfect, future, conditional, subjunctive, regular subjunctive, and past subjunctive. There's 7. And then each of those also has a compound tense. So, there's the present perfect, there's the pluperfect it's called, which is the imperfect perfect, so to speak. There's the preterite perfect, there's the future perfect, all these different things. But the first one we'll take a look at is the present perfect. And the form of haber that we'll use is the present tense form of haber, which looks like this. Yo he, tú has, él, ella, o usted ha, nosotros hemos, vosotros habéis, which we don't worry about in this class, and then ellos, ellas, or ustedes han. Remember, of course, that the H is silent, so you can ignore that. So, it's not yo he, but yo he. So you'll have that from haber, and then you'll have the participio pasado, which again should be review for us at this point. Now, a friendly reminder, ¿hay algunos verbos irregulares en este tiempo? Are there any irregular verbs in this tense? Of course there are. We're already familiar with them because we've already learned the past participle. They're in páginas 15 and 16 una vez más. And remember that on, I think it was page 16, there were those 2 sets of verbs where it was if one functions as an adjective, it'll change. If the other one functions if it appears in a compound tense, then it'll have this form and it won't change. It'll always end in O. That is the form that we'll be looking for here. So, if you look on page 16, I'm pretty sure, I don't have the book with me right now, but I'm pretty sure that, there are those 2 columns. And for this being that it's a compound tense, you'll use those verbs in the compound tense column. And again, because it's not functioning as an adjective, it doesn't have to agree with the subject that it's talking about. So, for example, if he has spoken, él ha hablado, but if she has spoken, ella ha hablado. You're not going to change it to hablada because she's a girl. So, chicos, again, this should be mostly review, but we will practice with this just for a couple days, and then we'll take a quiz on it, and we'll talk in more detail about that tomorrow. Just make sure you get done these notes and come tomorrow with any questions that you have about the present perfect. Nos vemos mañana y espero que tengan una buena tarde y una buena noche. Adiós.